Your top story, High Court in Bloemfontein has ruled that the ANC's Free State Provincial Elective Conference cannot go ahead this weekend as scheduled. The Free State High Court has set aside the decisions of 27 ANC branch general meetings as irregular and in variance with the ANC constitution. The PEC conference has also been halted until the BGMs rectify their meetings first. Some members of the ruling party approached the Bloemfontein High Court to have the leadership dissolved and chairperson Ace Magashule removed. The ANC in the Free State had earlier said that today's court ruling on the legitimacy of the provincial party's leadership has no bearing on the General Council being held yesterday.
The judgment as given out by the High Court today in the Free State was by and large expected, given the fact that at the heart of the matter lies the kind of deep divisions within the ANC, especially in the Free State. But central to the issue, if not the reasons why this was nullified, is the fact that the PGC, which was supposed to be held earlier in the year to give credence and legitimacy to the current provincial leadership, was not followed through.
Well, joining us now to discuss this further is ANN7 reporter Giovanni Majane. Joins us from Metsi Malolo for more on the story. Good afternoon to you, Giovanni. Just first and foremost, I think, talk us through that court ruling.
Good afternoon to you, Abigail, and good afternoon to the viewers. We do know that yesterday the Free State held their PGC, and it was commented that it had started rather late. The reason for that being was that a number of things had to be audited and consolidated first before going into the PGC. We also know that there has been a bit of word why the Deputy Chair, Thabo Manyoni, was not there, being that he did send his apologies to the leadership, stating that he would not have been able to come to Paris for the PGC that happened yesterday. We also do know that this PGC was supposed to happen on Monday, but due to the court case that the verdict has now been out, it was moved to Tuesday. So all in all, members have been communicated with. There has been a bit of up and down when it comes to events, conferences, the way forward here in the Free State. But just to clear a little bit of this out, definitely in regards to the court case, as the Free State spokesperson, Thabo Meko. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, a lot has been happening in the Free State. Just looking at this week, a PGC that was meant to happen on Monday moved to Tuesday. People saying they heard about it via SMS, emails. What is happening now? Where to forward for the ANC, understanding that the reruns need to happen before this weekend, or are you moving it back?
Look, you must appreciate that we are undertaking a very tight program. Of course, as per the roadmap to the national conference, we ought to convene a PGC. And part of that is that today it's by-elections. We're planning for provincial conference on Friday. There was a court case on Monday. So it was a very tight program in the province leading up to December national conference. In fact, the entire year of 2017 has been a very busy year in the life of the African National Congress, especially in our province. Over and above that, we're also preparing for a regional conference in Kharipe provincial conference, and of course, as part and parcel of So the PGC was convened, and the PGC was the PGC of the delegates to national conference. We don't know this thing that it was convened, hurry, where does it come from? All of the delegates who were nominated from the entire branch general meetings in the province attended the PGC. In fact, the process of the Provincial General Council is not the process of the provincial leadership of the ANC. It is a sole responsibility of the ANC Litule House National Election Agency, which did their work diligently. In fact, the policy, the PGC was smooth. It went very well. The agency pronounced the results of the nominations from the branches. All delegates accepted those results. The PGC was jovial. And that was the only business of the PGC. We were not going to debate or add or subtract in terms of the outcomes of the branch general meeting from the branches. So we don't know where does this thing come from. But we know that as well as the issues of the court and the halapalu that has been painted around our PGC, it is precisely because people are not happy about issues of the National Congress. It has got nothing to do with the Free State.
And then in terms of the legitimacy of the leadership, the PEC of the Free State, we know that there were court cases that did occur in regarding to the leadership, and a few opposing parties were at the High Court saying that the leadership is, as well as the BMGs, are null and void and should not be ruling over the Free State, and actually Chair Dr. Ace Magashule should step down.
No. We must appreciate that there has been a number of court cases, I think about 3, if not 4. There has been a fundraising of anything that people can use as a basis just to disrupt the province from the preparations of its Congress and, of course, ultimately being part of the National Congress. We have seen very extreme and disparate shenanigans of people that any other thing must be dragged in front of the court to prevent the ANC one to go to its conference, the legitimacy of the PGC, of the PEC itself, despite our explanation throughout. And our explanation has been very clear. We didn't go to Congress not because we wanted. We didn't go to conference because the Thuli House had to audit us as a province. And we understood that because 2017 is a very busy year, there was a national policy conference and a whole lot of these other things in terms of the preparations. The Thuli House then gave our audit, I think, at the end of September. Only by then, we equally said, then we can prepare for a Congress. Because had we gone to a provincial Congress without it being audited, it would have been an illegal and illegitimate in terms of the ANC constitution. Now, we prepared for Congress for November. People took us to court. We had a court settlement that says the 1st and the 3rd to December. Now, we've been taken to court. Judgment has been issued today. And the judgment says, don't go to Congress before correcting the illegal branches as per the court. We're busy studying the content of the court, subject to the proper advice from our legal team, and I'm sure to the House, then we'll have a comprehensive response to the issues of today of the court outcomes.
So, quick summary, does this mean the PGC of yesterday still stands? Is it or was it legal? And moving forward, can we expect a conference this week? Are you going to run all the BGMs tomorrow so that it happens before the conference?
Well, in our understanding, and I think the guidance we were exposed to, the court case and its content had nothing to do with the PGC. I must indicate that things have changed throughout. At first, the legitimacy of the PGC was questioned and it was dropped. And now the court case, as we know now, was interdicting the provincial Congress. So it was all manner of things. But now we know what is it that we must respond to. And our request is that we want to go deeper, understand its content, and we'll then define our way forward after that particular guidance. Thank you very much.
So as it seems for the Free State, a number of processes do need to take place. We do know as early as May this year, they were ready to elect their leadership. But due to the auditing that needed to happen nationally at Thuli House, we do understand that it was moved to August and then moved to November. But due to these court cases that have been coming to the leadership of the Free State ANC, it was moved to the 1st and the 3rd of December. Now today's a court verdict that now pushes this date backwards, knowing that reruns of BGMs need to take place first before they go to their elective conference. So a lot needs to be done. We do know that in almost 2 weeks, the National Elective Conference is happening in Nasrec. So it seems that the time frame for the Free State ANC has been shortened. But as you've heard from the spokesperson, they are more than ready and they will be going down this aisle with the Constitution. and the guidelines of the African National Congress.
All right, thank you very much, Giovanni, for unpacking those details for us and providing clarity there. That was ANN7 reporter Giovanni Machane just giving us some clarity with regards to this High Court in Bloemfontein ruling. But talking about court proceedings, let's get the latest details and further discuss implications with regards to that. For that, we are joined by Hanu Becker, the lawyer for the applicants. Good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us here on ANN7. First and foremost, what is your reaction to the court ruling?
Thank you very much for having me on your program. Our response to that is that my client is ecstatic. They are glad they were vindicated in saying that stick to the rules and the constitution of the ANC. So they're very, very happy with the ruling.
With regards to implications going forward now, could you just talk us through, legally, what does this mean in going forward?
Legally what this means, and we will still now step back and continue with the internal processes yet again, is that for all intents and purposes, there is then no PEC at the moment, seeing as there's no conference, and that read along with the constitution of the ANC, which says that the PEC needs to be elected every 4 years. At the moment, then there is no PEC that can go to the national conference.
And then what does that then mean for the future and having the possible PEC at a later stage or at an earlier stage? Is there that sort of leeway? What happens with regards to the importance of that meeting and it not possibly taking place?
It still needs to take place, and whether it takes place at a later date is not for me to know at the moment, but it does need to take place. Because this will leave the province and the structure of the province effectively in limbo, so that there's no clear leadership at the moment, and as such then provincial task team will need to be appointed in the Free State.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Becker, for your time this afternoon and unpacking those details for us. That was Hanu Becker, lawyer for the applicant, just giving further comment with regards to the High Court in Bloemfontein ruling that the ANC's Free State Provincial Elective Conference cannot go ahead this weekend as was scheduled. But stay tuned to ANN7 for further details and developments.